Welcome to Birthing Purpose with Lana. We have here Manny Hall. He's a branding strategist and the founder of Manny Hall and Association. He is accompanied by his lovely wife, Marlie Hall. She is the founder of Umbreon LLC, which is a consulting company that helps women and children to thrive. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yes. So for people who are struggling to find out what their purpose is, I think that it would be beneficial for them to hear your story in your journey to discovering your purpose and birthing that purpose into a successful company that you have. Both you and your wife are doing some great things.
Thank you.
So just tell a little bit about Manny Hall and Association for the viewers.
Okay, so I'm really excited because Manny Hall Associates, we started back in 2017, and it was a rough journey early on because I had a whole lot of high hopes to, within 3 months, make $1 million, and it didn't happen that way, unfortunately. But then I said, okay, I'll compromise. Let me just get 500,000. That also didn't happen. So I started going down further, till I really reached a really good sweet spot with bringing in a few $1,000s for my business on a consistent basis. But that really didn't start for about a year and a half. So through that process, I really learned that you got to have patience being a business owner. You also have to develop determination and have this unyielding faith. For me, it's going to be God. For somebody else, it might be believing in something else in order to give them that push and drive. But for me, it was really believing that God had my back and he had my business's back as well. So it really started with me having the confidence and the bravery to put a Facebook post out one day and said, hey, I started this company. I want to help people with their social media management. I can help you with branding strategy. Who's in? And within the first couple of weeks, I had about three to four customers. And I was so excited about that. But what I really learned early on, Lana, is, you know, when you just get started, you reduce your own worth so much that people look at you as cheap. And not that the product or the service is cheap, but they're like, okay, yeah, so that's extremely affordable. So I know I can just get over in that relationship. So I was like working at a capacity that it probably cost a few $100s every single month for only $50 a month because I just really wanted to get myself out there. But I ran very, very tired very easily because I was working so hard for a very limited amount of money. But once I really started doing it, I started to see how God was really transforming everything else around me. He always gave me a passion for encouraging people and motivating people. So I knew that that was a part of me. But as I started the business, he really spoke to me clearly and said, I want you to focus on branding. I want you to be a branding strategist. So this marketing company, Manny, I'm helping you to develop is going to be a marketing company that specializes in branding because I want you to help people from the inside out. These entrepreneurs, these business owners, they're really jacked up. They got a lot of hurt. They got a lot of rejection. They got a lot of abandonment, all these different things that they're struggling with. And they're trying to start a business. And they're wondering why it can't be successful because all those things need to be dealt with as well.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So you talked a little bit about confirmation because when someone's pregnant, they think they're pregnant, then the woman has to get that confirmation from the doctor. And in this case, we get our confirmation from God. And
Sure.
You got that confirmation from God to say, this is what I need you to do.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I talk about with people who are struggling to figure out what this is they're supposed to be doing, I tell them to ask themselves the following questions. What is the theme of your life? What do you do well with the least amount of effort? What do people compliment you for? What are you passionate about? What population do you want to affect? What problem do you want to solve? And can your themes, gifts, and passions all be merged to do what it is that God has called you to do? And it seems like, yes, you had a problem you wanted to solve, and you're doing that with your business. Now, was this the theme of your life?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
People not help. Yeah, was this the theme of your life, like, or did it develop after some time?
Absolutely. I would say early 2000s, I read Rick Warren's book, Purpose Driven Life.
Yeah.
And I asked God, I was excited, like, oh, I'm about to find out my purpose right now, man. So I got on my knees and I said, what's up? What's my purpose, God? Tell me. And he said to help hurting people and to pray for Christian martyrs. And that was a purpose that he gave me. And he said, anything that you do that you help hurting people, you're still inside my will for your life. So I decided to help these business owners, these entrepreneurs that are also hurting, to get them to where they need to be.
I would like to say something about this as the wife and, his partner in life. When I met him, he would be, we could be literally anywhere, and he would notice something that was a little bit off about a business or a company. So let's just say we were at the mall or at a restaurant. He would say, you know what, I think a better experience for the customers would be this. And I think that maybe they should move this here. Or we would watch something with a commercial, watching a show. And he would say, you know what, I wouldn't have done, that doesn't really represent what they're meant. Like, the images and the words are conflicting. And he would just constantly find these things. He's also in the background in real life, really big on integrity and character. And I just feel like naturally he was pushed towards that sensitivity in businesses to hold them to who it is they should be, and making sure that whatever the marketing is, or being in a physical venue, like whatever they have in those spaces, it all lines up. And it's like, he's been a walking marketing, like, I would change this and I would help them do this and this and this for years.
Now, let me ask you.
And I'm just like, why did he say that? Like, that's what I always do. I was always.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Do you think this came from, did you see a lot of failed businesses around you? Did you try to do something at one time and it didn't work? Or why do you think you gravitated towards helping businesses?
Well, I think that I've always been big on the customer experience. And it's really my experience with other people too. So if I'm in a relationship with someone and they're not treating me right, they're not treating other people right, then I'm always looking like, maybe you could try this, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that. So that kind of morphed into, once I finally got old enough to start spending my money, then I was like, I'm spending $15 on this, I'm spending $30 here. Like, I don't know if I'm getting enough value for this. Like when I go into a mall, like it would be huge that I noticed that you would ask, hey, how can I help you, to certain customers, but then other ones that look like me, you didn't care because you were probably assuming I didn't have the money. So then me purposely, I'm eyeing you down, and then I would go ask for the manager and I say, how can I help you? Say, well, she didn't ask me how I was doing. She didn't ask me if I wanted anything. And I think that if you're going to adopt that concept, you need to apply it to everybody. And it was just all of these little different nuances across many different industries, many different relationships. And it's like I always pinpointed a better way in order to make that person feel better about the experience they was having with you.
And so what I'm hearing is you have a love for people, because you care about customer service, and that's a person that loves people.
Yeah.
And how can I make things better for you? And you hooked up with someone who has the same vision, because that is what her company does. She helps women and children to thrive. So I just love the way God brought you together to complement each other. Yeah. You're doing it differently, but really it's still the same, and being a blessing to others.
It really is.
Amazing.
And I could not have built the company the way that it is right now without her help. And I don't just say that just trying to pump her up on this video. So she afterwards say, oh, thanks, babe, for the shout out. Like, it's just honest that her accountability skills, her management, her time management, she really got me together in a lot of areas, because, there was a way of doing business that wasn't even really acceptable to me, but I had to keep moving so fast in order to grow it, that she would sometimes look at it from the same glasses I had, like, oh, hold on, bro. You said that you wouldn't like somebody to do this. Well, why are you doing this?
Integrity.
And how are people taking the money? And blah, 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 blah. So I was like, oh, shoot. So she really kept me accountable.
Accountability, right.
Absolutely. You know, and it was interesting, like, she was one of my first clients. I was one of her first clients. And it's like we literally just grew together and really bragged on social media, like, hey, I got Marlie for a client. I'm helping her, boom, 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 boom. She's like, I'm helping Manny, who do y'all love, all like that. I'm helping him get himself together. Come hire me. And
That's
it was just
awesome.
crazy
Y'all
how it
practice
worked.
on each other.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
That is awesome. Let's talk about prenatal vitamins, because every woman carrying a baby, she needs to nourish that baby with
Absolutely.
some prenatal
Absolutely.
vitamins. So when we're walking in purpose and we need to keep ourselves nourished, our spirits built up, emotionally,
Yes, yes.
our mind right. So what
Yep.
do you all do to stay encouraged and just keep your spirits up? Because there are down days, like you said, and everything didn't go the way you wanted it to go. So did you do scriptures, read scriptures, motivational songs,
Yeah, like
books? What was your prenatal vitamin?
all of these prenatal vitamins you got, we use all of them consistently all the time. We got to pop each one every day. Because what I find is, like, waking up early in the morning, I definitely got to start with God. Got to read his word, got to see what he's saying, what instructions he got for the day. But another large part of it is meditation for Marlie and I. And we gotta get disconnected from this world and all the stuff that's going on the news. And we just go into this secret place with God and just be like, all right, let's talk. Like, let me let go of all this other stuff. I'm literally like in another galaxy at times, like just talking to God, like, all right, Lord, all the distractions is gone. Like, what's going on with this situation? Like, how can I grow my business? Why am I having a hard time with this particular thing? And then in that quiet space, and sometimes it can take 15, 20 minutes, sometimes an hour, that I'm not really getting the answer that I need. But I really learned the difference between prayer and meditation. And prayer really, in its general sense, by definition, should be 80% listening and 20% us actually talking. But most of the time, we just go to God like, blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm done. I'll talk to you later. And then he like, well, I was going to say something like, no, I'll talk to you.
And you gone, you done. You like, amen.
Right. So I really started learning this, like, I got to sit there and wait.
Yes.
And listen to what he's saying. And even if he don't say exactly what I want him to say, the way I want him to say it, or like I'm looking for confirmation. So we're like, no, God, you got permission to do exactly what you want to do, the way you want to do it. If you want to speak through my kids, you can. If you want to speak through my mama, you can. If you want to speak through my enemy, you can do that as well. Like, just have your way. And I think that on a daily basis, I'm just always open to him doing whatever he want to do. Even to the point that when we try to get new clients, we don't work that hard at all. We literally say, God, have your way. Where do you want us to go? Who do you want us to talk to? How can we do this? And he always shows up some type of way. And it might sound spooky to some people, but it's like straight up the truth that I put it before God. We need some more clients. We got some deals. We want to do this. Here's some of our goals. Go ahead and make it happen. And people literally will just send me messages out of nowhere.
That is awesome.
It really is.
So let's talk a little bit about restrictions. Pregnant women cannot do everything. Drugs, alcohol, roller coaster rides, etc. What are some of the things you had to pull out of your life, stop doing, because if you didn't, you could abort this baby and this purpose?
I actually have a quick story. I was connected to some women that I believe we were just all in this place of wanting to discover more of who it was that we were and what God was calling us to do. And there was a woman that I was connected to who wasn't honoring her husband, but, you know, she went to church, she was kind of disrespectful and just kind of ran her house, you know, wasn't the submissive wife, was the, oh no, you need to tell him the whatever, but she loved God, she was a servant of God, you know, that type of thing. And I remember we were just going through things and the Lord, I want to say, spoke to you first and was just like, hey babe, you know, just pray about that situation. And I didn't want to pray about the situation because like, well, we've known each other for so long and we're getting work done and we're focusing on our purpose and building businesses and the whole thing. He's like, just pray about it. And I remember he wasn't at home and it was just me and our youngest at home, and the Lord, and I'm not going to go into details, but he made it so clear with crazy confirmation that she needed to go. I had the toughest conversation, tears and all. God says, you can't go with me. You know, like, this is where our friendship ends. I love you. I bless you. May whatever needs to happen in your life happen. The next month, I started two different income generating systems. Like, out of nowhere, God blessed me with 2 ideas that still bring me in money. And literally this whole business was just kind of like birthed. You know, the whole thing, I had 5 clients within 45 days of letting go of a friend. You know, just the whole thing. So I would say,
yes,
friends, yeah, the friendship was one. You have to really monitor your circle, because God doesn't want everyone attached to you, because they have their own ideas of what they think is best. And sometimes we listen to our friends or our family members and things like that, and they get us off our path for whatever reason. We trust them more than God. But even television shows, music, there's a lot of stuff that I don't allow in our, you know, in our space, because of the delicacy of what we know we are called to do. And we don't want to mishandle it because there's a negative or inappropriate influence attached to us.
Absolutely.
So those are some of the things that we've had to, you know, monitor in this journey of purpose and success in God.
Good. And as you was talking, and I was thinking about how when you prune a tree or a flower,
yes,
when it comes back, it blooms even more, because you got those dead branches off and things like that. And that's kind of what needs to happen in our lives, is that pruning, so that we can flourish. That's amazing. That's good. Lama's class. Gotta get that education on how to birth that baby.
Yes,
so you want to talk about whatever schooling, webinars, internships, volunteering, shadowing, any books. What did you need educationally to birth your vision?
Yeah, so for both of us, I'll never forget that I was at work and she sent me a message and said, hey, you need to check out this book, They Can Grow Rich. And I literally was just reading the book, like listening to it on YouTube. And I was like, that's crazy. And I didn't know the word back then, but now I know it's synchronicity. But back then I was like, this is crazy. What the heck? I was just about to read this book and here she's talking about it. And so we just continue to properly align like that with different books. We listen to a lot of affirmations, like all throughout the house, have the kids saying stuff. Because we're really just trying to create an environment that we believe exactly what we're saying. YouTube University has been amazing to us.
YouTube is really nice.
And we just learned so much. A lot of Seth Godin books. So he's really big into branding and marketing. Listen, a lot of his stuff. Robert Greene, that has the 48 Laws of Success and 33 Strategies of War. We're big fans of that. The Word of God by Jesus Christ. That's a good one too.
Right. That's enough of what educate you.
Yes,
absolutely.
I say if you just eat up the Proverbs every day, there's so much wisdom that will just help you for your life to just make the right decisions. You know.
And the scripture that I have really learned to live by for myself and the business is, a good name is better than riches. And it's like, I always want every single client, every person that interacts with us, to have a Disney World experience. If you having a Geauga Lake experience, I didn't give you no good service. I'm talking about Disney World. So the point where you standing in line and you're still entertained, because they know you to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yes. Now, did you have any formal education? Did you go to college?
Absolutely. So I have my bachelor's and master's, both for organizational management. My specialization for my master's was project management. I ended up going to school to complete my doctorate. I completed all the coursework, got to the dissertation, and started kicking my butt. So I said I was going to take a break, and it's been a couple years now since my break. I don't know how long this break is really supposed to last, but I really want to get back into it and finally complete that. But the doctor was actually going to be in organizational leadership.
All right, good. Let's talk a little bit about the nursery.
Amen.
What do you need in your nursery in order to do what it is you do? You know, funding, equipment, supplies, members, employees. You are the marketer, you do marketing already, but what do you need besides education? Anything else to start your company?
You know what? Inside this nursery, you got so many great things, but I think that what people need the absolute most is belief in themselves. And, you know, this whole thing about God confidence has been going around these past few years, and I get the premise of it, but I think that it still allows people to sit in the background and be like, all right, God, you got to do it because I believe in you to do it. I don't believe in myself. It's only you. I think that we have to have belief in ourselves as part of this nursery, because if your marketing is on point, the brand is on point, you got fancy business cards, your photos is popping, but you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be real hard for you to produce anything of great value, because people are going to sniff that insecurity. They're going to sniff that doubt and that fear that's inside of you. Almost like I tell the kids, back in the day when we would walk by a house that had a big dog, if you weren't scared, that dog didn't even bark. But if that dog sensed some fear, like you scared, you're like, ah, rah, 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 rah,
Right.
And I feel like that's how the enemy is, the world, whatever you want to call it, comes after us as entrepreneurs and business owners. Like, oh, you scared? You ain't ready for this?
Right.
I'm about to eat you alive then.
Right. Wow. Let's talk about prioritizing, because you two have a lot going on. Mrs. Hall, she homeschools. I heard a couple businesses.
Yeah.
She assists you with the marketing company. You both still need your quality time with each other, and then you need your private time.
That's right.
How do you prioritize your lives to avoid these overloaded schedules, getting your proper rest, and avoiding fatigue and burnout?
Okay, so as an accountability coach, priorities are everything to me.
Okay.
And I would say my basic list of priorities come to God, which means that every single day, and I tell him I require 2 hours just to do everything that I do. I require 2 hours in the morning to function and be at peace and manage everything really well. But it's God, then it's my marriage, then it's my children, and then it's, friends, family, business, the whole thing. And I believe as every single day, as I continue to make those things a priority, God, you good, we're good. You tell me what I need to do. I'm doing what you're telling me to do. I'm honoring him. Babe, you're okay. Kids, what do you need? Like, I'm very aware of when things are off, what things need to be done, like the whole thing, because I spend a lot of time just observing and thinking and praying and meditating. And when things are revealed, it's like, okay, so that's the focus. That's what we're going to be studying in homeschool. Or this is what I need. I need to go drink some more water. I need to actually eat some cucumbers and this, that, and the other. I actually created something called the self-love checklist that I give to women for completely free. I email it out. It's on my site, just all these things. But it has a list of things that I believe every single woman or person could benefit from. And I have things on there such as spending time with God in prayer, meditation, journaling, exercising, drinking water, eating fruits and vegetables, spending time with someone you love, dressing like you love yourself. Like, I have this whole little checklist that throughout the day I look at, it's in a nice frame, and I make sure that I do those things, because I know that those things allow me to be who God needs me to be, my husband, my children, my clients, the world, that whole thing. So I'm also really big on writing things down. I like to know, like, this is the time that we're spending together. This is the time that I do just mommy and me time.
Planner.
This is the time I'm on the phone.
A planner.
I'm a planner.
Yeah.
I make sure everybody gets everything that they need to the best of my abilities, including myself. I'm on my list every single day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
And I just wanted to add to that she has challenged me in these areas too, where now I find myself writing on the calendar and like, all right, May 10th, I got to do this. I got this appointment. I got this coming up. Because, I was one of the people that would just save everything in my phone. But having that organization through a calendar has been major for me. And it really has taught me also to look at the priorities for Manny first. Like, what is Manny's body saying to him? Yeah. Because it's always signals. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, hey, stop having this conversation with this person because this doesn't feel good emotionally. Hey, maybe stop eating that crap because that doesn't make me feel good in my body. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, maybe you need to plan out better and be a little bit more organized with your business so that you're not stressed out about your business. Mm-hmm. So it's all of these things. It's like, in terms of prioritization, like that's major for anybody trying to do anything successful. Because then you start looking years later like, God, I thought that you said that I could birth this big old vision. Like, yeah, but you was disorganized.
Wow, you're right. You're right. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's talk a little bit about the red flags. I tell people to look at what they're doing because a lot of things you guys are saying, those are red flags. Like, listen to the signals. Your body will tell you when something's not going right. Check. So if your purpose has you neglect, disobey, or denounce God, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
If your purpose has you neglect yourself, if your purpose has you neglect your immediate family, if your purpose has you neglect your other purpose you say God called you to, if you are no longer interested in your so-called purpose, and if your purpose is illegal, immoral, or unethical, and if your purpose changes your character from the way of love. Not saying that these are going on, you're not in purpose, but maybe the way you're going about doing your purpose needs to be adjusted. Did you ever get any, well, you did. You just talked about those red flags that you've gotten. Have you gotten any other red flags to say, I better check this, change this, switch this?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a few of them, but I want to ask Lana, if you can send me what you just had, that slide is absolutely amazing.
It's good.
I like that stuff. That's good. That's real good. But anyway, so.
I will send it to you.
But yeah, there was just recently, just an honesty moment. I have neuropathy, which is nerve damage. Pretty much all throughout my body. And, at any given time, like I can experience pain. And the Lord showed me in my meditation, said, you got to pay attention to your body more. So, there's signals just basically saying, hey, this is causing way too much stress in my life. Or every time I try to go after a new client, this is causing stress because I feel like I'm not involving God and I'm putting too much effort and energy by myself to get this accomplished. Or when I'm actually talking to a person on the phone, maybe I don't feel as confident in my abilities. Why is that? Maybe I need to do more research in this area. Maybe I need to be better skilled and talented in this area so then I'll be a little bit more confident. But these are all red flags that are always coming up on us. And sometimes we think it's the enemy hating on us. But no, it's God really instructing us in order to get better in these areas.
Right, exactly. And for people who are still struggling to figure out what am I supposed to be doing, I tell them to stay in God's presence, do what's right in the sight of the Lord, walk in the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, self-control, share the gospel, save souls, share your testimonies, encourage others. Spread knowledge, be grateful, stop complaining, and make no comparisons.
That's good.
Do these things, you will, this is purpose too. This is purpose. Christianity 101. This is purpose. And if you do these things, you will make your way into doing what God has called you to do. Did you ever struggle with waiting? Like you said, I was early in the interview, you said, I was waiting. I would ask God stuff. I wouldn't get the answer right away. Like, did you ever struggle with any of these during the wait for your businesses to grow?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really suffered through anxiety attacks. I'm trying to grow my business because, some of the points you made, like comparing yourself to other people, that was a struggle for me because it's like God, well, why am I trying to live right? I'm trying to do the right thing. They're not even living right, but you allowing their business to blow up and they got money and they got clients. Where am I in that? And it took a long time for me to get a grip in that area to say, no. I just got to literally wait. And that waiting process is hard because sometimes you don't know when the baby's supposed to come. Sometimes you got a date like, hey, May 15th, the baby is coming. And then it's like, June, and we can't go to God like, well, you said, like, he knows what's best for us. And he knew what was best for me right from the beginning. So he had to take me through certain things in order to get me to where I'm at now.
One of the things I heard you guys say a few times through this interview is you're reading a rich book. You wanted the business to be $1 million business. Did God speak to you and say, this is $1 million business, or it's just something you wanted? Because every business is not $1 million business. Everybody can't be a millionaire. You know,
Absolutely.
Everybody can't be a leader. They need assistance. You know,
Right.
Everybody can't do. So did God actually speak to you and say, this is $1 million business? And so maybe, and you don't have to answer that, but
no,
I tell people to
Yeah.
think, like, ask God, how big is this business supposed to be? We might be doing all this stuff, overworking ourselves, trying to make it $1 million business. And God said, I don't want it to be $1 million business because I have you doing other stuff. You got a wife, you got kids, I got other stuff for you to do that you're going to be impregnated with that you have no idea about. So I can't get you all tied up in this here thing because I know it's around the corner for you to do. So I would just say that everybody really needs to ask God with their purpose, what does it really look like? Not what the world says it should look like or comparing to what other people do, but our journey is personal with God, and your journey is different from others. So
absolutely.
And so I think it's important to really ask God what it really should look like.
It's absolutely important. But I will answer your question. So the Lord revealed to us that we'll be billionaires.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not going to happen the way that we want it to happen. It's going to be the way that he wants it to happen. But he's not giving us the money just to say, look at us, we're billionaires. But it's because of the impact. And he knows that he can trust us in order to distribute wealth and have a tremendous impact. We are literally on purpose to try our absolute best with God's help to eradicate homelessness in the city of Cleveland.
Awesome.
Now, that's a tall order, but I know it can be done with God's help and a whole lot of money.
Right. Yes. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, before meeting my husband and just going through my whole just discovery with God and purpose and just, figuring it all out, God spoke so confirmingly, in such a confirming way that I would be the one writing the checks. And he told me clearly that I would be funding the missions because there's a lot of missions that need to get done in this world. And unfortunately, a lot of believers don't have the money to do it, but because of my giving, and I've always been a giver, I've always put money into people's hands that I know could grow it or sow seeds and all these things. Like, it's just been my whole life. Like, if I could see it, if I feel like God is saying this, so it can grow. And he's like, literally, I got to give it to you so you can go help the people create. Because there's people right now that need loans. And the Bible talks so specifically about his children being the ones who are able to lend money and not have crazy interest and rates and all those kind of things. So he needs it in our hands so that we can go fix the problems. Not saying that everything's going to be our businesses, but he's going to find a way to give it to us so that we can distribute it. We really are a distribution center. Who can we sow money into so that what's in their mind and their purpose can be funded? Because unfortunately, the government's not funding everything that God stands for.
So I would like for you guys to take out a pencil, a paper, and write my name down. So when you come into your billion,
I got you.
I love that.
Yes. Hey, you know what?
Don't forget, put my name in the planner.
Tell us an amount that you want. It can happen. We believe that.
Oh, I don't have anything else to say. Whatever the Lord, just write my name down and ask God, can we bless her? Can we sow in that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got you.
Whatever he tells you, just
got you. But, I know this isn't part of the thing with the interview, but I just want to say to you that this is awesome what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's needed.
Because I met
really
so many people who they don't know what God has called them to do. I don't know what my purpose is. They're stuck. They feel that like they're in a rut. And God just gave this to me. Yeah.
Amen.
It was birthed through some pain, but we don't have time for it. But that's what most stuff is birthed through pain anyway.
Yeah,
Most
absolutely.
of it is.
But yeah, so thank you. So let's show off your baby. For those of you who would like to reach and get in contact with Manny Hall and Marlie Hall, they are at, well, you tell them. Tell them about your baby. Tell them.
Okay, so
Okay.
for Manny Hall Associates, you can reach us at www.mhacanhelp.com. And we purposely made the website to make it very, very easy for people to understand that we want to help you. You can reach me on Facebook or as Manny Hall, also on Instagram as Manny_Hall. I would love to talk to you, help you grow your business, help you grow your brand, just to become this phenomenal person.
This is the website. Graphic designers, copywriters, creative directors, client managers. How nice. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Brand strategy, social media management. All right. Okay. And let me get to, I want to show off marliabrion.com because talk a little bit how you help market your wife's company.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. So when she first started, she was one of those people that really didn't think that because she was doing ministry, she could get paid for it. And I said, well, baby, you got to make that money. She's like, well, no, I'm just supposed to be helping God's people. I said, helping God's people, you can get some money too. And it took her some time to really understand that.
I like my husband.
And I really had to, right. And I really had to help her to understand how amazing she really was and how we really had to share that story with the world and the importance of building solid relationships on a consistent basis. And once she started doing that, she literally started to make people fall in love with her. And her audience is like rallying behind her like crazy. Like she would tell me, babe, I got another prayer kit order. This person just bought 3 prayer kits and I don't even know how they're going to use all of them at the same time. Maybe they buy them as gifts. So we started putting different packages together. And this thing just really morphed into this really awesome brand that I'm so, so proud of her.
Thank you, baby.
Look. There's the children's prayer kit too.
Yeah, so a part of me helping women and their children to thrive is getting them down to the basics and helping people to develop relationships with God and to discover who it is that they are and what He thinks about them and just different things like that. Just try to get rid of anything that is a hindrance from them being who they've been called to be. And I believe a lot of barriers get broken down in our time with God through prayer, through His word. So I teach women and children how to communicate with God and to receive His promises over their lives.
Awesome. You guys are doing some great things together.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. And that was marliabrion.com. You can reach both of them on Facebook by their names, Manny Hall and then Marlie Brion Hall. And on Instagram, Marlie Brion Hall, and email info@mannyhall.com.
Absolutely.
This was wonderful.
This was great.
Yes, this was great. Wait, am I sharing? I wasn't sharing. Let me get back here. I'm sorry. Talking about I didn't share it. Sorry. Yes. Those who need a little paper, a little time to write it down. Yes, they're doing some amazing things together. And I just love to see, because 2 are better than 1. I don't care what nobody say.
All day.
When 2 or 3 are gathered in His name, it shall be done. You know, so much more can be done when you have a partner in life, someone that you are just fighting the world together. You're going at this thing together, you know. It is just so great to see you guys on one accord and all the things that you are doing. And so I know that someone will be blessed by this interview just to see how you all are just united on the one accord, because a lot of couples aren't like that. But just keep the world in prayer.
Amen.
Business success, marriage success, you know.
The whole
Wow,
thing.
I'm excited. So thank you so much for sharing your babies and
No problem.
with us. And yeah, I may need you for some branding too. And I definitely want to check out some prayer kits. You know what I said? I said this next paycheck, I'm like interviewing all these different people who have all these things. I was like, with this next paycheck, I'm gonna sew and purchase everybody's books. And even if I don't get time to read them, I'll have them. They'll come in handy one day. Their books, prayer kits. People doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, I got you. Priestly garment. I'm gonna buy something from everybody with this paycheck coming up on the 20th. So I will be getting in touch with you for
That's awesome.
Yes, definitely. So once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank